Mission Amazon, the quest for the Pink River Dolphin. Rambo Ninjo was in the middle of perfecting his ultra-difficult, highly dramatic, hypersonic flying octopus kick when Sensei appeared. Sensei didn't use the door, of course. He simply materialized directly out of a cloud of lavender-scented incense, which was incredibly cool but terrible for Rambo Ninjo's heart rate.
Rambo Ninjo,
Sensei whispered.
a great wickedness has invaded the lands of our planet. Greedy villains have traveled to the Amazon forest. They are plotting to kidnap the legendary Boto, the Pink River Dolphin.
Rambo Ninjo blinked.
A pink dolphin? That sounds very awesome. I mean, the dolphin sounds awesome. The kidnapping sounds utterly evil. I'm on it, Sensei.
Sensei handed him a sleek, bamboo-wrapped digital wrist gadget and a capsule of glowing blue powder.
The jungle is a place of supreme wonder, but it contains roughly 4 million distinct ways to accidentally end your life. Do not rely merely on your fists, Rambo Ninjo. Use your brain.
With a solemn nod, Rambo Ninjo smacked the capsule onto the floor. Boom! A massive cloud of sparkling blue smoke erupted. The dojo floor completely vanished, and Rambo Ninjo tumbled headfirst into a roaring void. Splat! Rambo Ninjo landed flat on his face onto something incredibly massive, incredibly green, and incredibly slimy. It was a giant Victoria Amazonica lily pad, and it was roughly the size of a bouncy castle. He scrambled to his feet, wiping swamp gunk from his ninja suit. He was surrounded by dark, mirror-like waters winding through an endless, suffocating green jungle. The water was so eerily black and glassy that it perfectly reflected the tangled canopy above, making it feel like he was floating through a surreal, upside-down emerald universe.
You were stepping on my dinner,
A voice boomed. Rambo Ninjo spun round. Standing in a narrow wooden canoe was a young girl from a local native tribe. She wore vibrant red face paint shaped like Jaguar whiskers and was holding a carved wooden paddle. She looked entirely unimpressed by a 10-year-old ninja falling out of the sky.
I'm Killa.
She said, crossing her arms.
You are distracting the fish.
Sorry, Killa. I'm Rambo Ninjo.
He said, giving a quick, apologetic bow.
I'm on a high-stakes rescue mission. Evil poachers are trying to steal a Pink River Dolphin.
Killa's eyes flashed with sudden anger.
The metal boatmen? They have nets and terrible manners. They went deeper into the flooded forests. It is a treacherous maze. Follow me.
Rambo Ninjo leapt into her canoe and they paddled deep into the flooded forest. It was mesmerizing. Pink river dolphins occasionally broke the black surface and colorful macaws screeched overhead. But as they squeezed through a particularly tight, dark waterway packed with tangled vines, Rambo Ninjo made a monumental tactical error. Desperate to duck beneath a massive mossy log, Rambo Ninjo reached up and firmly grabbed a thick, hanging tree branch to steady himself.
No, don't touch that.
Killa shrieked, but it was too late. Rambo Ninjo's hand had closed directly over a massive throbbing nest of bullet ants. These weren't normal ants. These were giant armor-plated insects that looked like they lifted weights in their spare time. Before Rambo Ninjo could even scream, 3 of them clamped their mandibles into his wrist. An explosion of pure, unadulterated agony ripped up his arm. It didn't feel like an insect bite. It felt like being shot by fireworks while simultaneously being struck by lightning. Rambo Ninjo let out a spectacularly un-ninja-like squeak, lost his footing, and fell violently backwards right out of the canoe and into the murky depths. As he thrashed in the water, his arm throbbing like a bass speaker, a colossal, dappled shadow detached itself from a nearby tree limb. It was a 200-pound Jaguar, the apex predator of the jungle, hitting the water with a massive splash and diving straight towards him with its jaws wide open. The black water transformed into a chaotic vortex of bubbles, paws, and razor-sharp teeth as the giant jungle cat closed its terrifying jaws directly above Rambo Ninjo's vest. Rambo Ninjo didn't panic. Well, he panicked a little, but then his ninja survival instincts took over. Remembering Sensei's advice to use his brain, he reached with his uninjured hand for his digital wrist gadget and aggressively smashed the button labeled Sonic Defense. The gadget let out a high-frequency underwater pulse that was completely silent to humans, but sounded like a heavy metal rock concert to a Jaguar. The big cat's eyes went wide with shock. It executed a frantic underwater U-turn and breached the surface, doggy paddling at top speed back to the safety of the riverbank. Killa hauled a gasping, shivering, and very sore Rambo Ninjo into the canoe.
That was incredibly foolish,
She noted, though she looked slightly impressed.
But look, we have reached the meeting of waters near Manaus.
They burst out of the narrow flooded forest and into a mind-boggling sight. On their right was the pitch-black river they had been travelling down. On their left was a completely different river of thick, sandy yellow water. The two massive rivers ran side by side in the exact same channel, completely refusing to mix, creating a sharp, distinct line down the middle of the water like a liquid highway lane. Anchored right on that dividing line was a hideous, rusted metal barge. On its deck sat a massive glass tank filled with water, and inside, a beautiful, bubblegum pink river dolphin was thrashing around in total misery. Standing next to it was the villainous ringleader, wearing a loud tropical shirt and shouting into a walkie-talkie.
We have to be sneaky,
Rambo Ninjo whispered, his hand still stinging fiercely from the bullet ants. Using the muddy line between the two rivers as camouflage, they swam silently to the back of the barge and scaled the rusty anchor chain. Rambo Ninjo crept onto the deck, ready to pull off a flawless stealth takedown. Rambo Ninjo froze. Coiled tightly on top of a supply crate directly in his path was a fer de lance, the absolutely most feared, unpredictable, and highly venomous pit viper in the entire Amazon. Its triangular head was raised, its cat-like eyes locked onto him, and its dark diamond-patterned scales rippled as it prepared to unleash a lightning-fast strike. The viper lunged forward through the air. Rambo Ninjo leapt backward to dodge the deadly fangs, but his foot caught on a stray coil of heavy rope. He lost his balance completely, flying backward through the air. Crash! Rambo Ninjo smashed face first into the barge's primary control console, his body weight violently slamming down a giant glowing red lever labeled Danger, Maximum Electric Security Grid On. The entire metal barge suddenly groaned as thousands of high-voltage blue sparks began dancing wildly across the deck, triggering a blinding explosion of smoke and a terrifying countdown timer on the glass dolphin tank that screamed, "Warning, emergency tank shutdown, flush in 10 seconds. Zap! The electrified security grid sent the startled fer de lance thrashing wildly over the side of the boat to escape the shock, but it also sent the villains into a total frenzy.
Intruders!
The tropical ship
Intruders!
his toupee nearly flying off his head in excitement.
Grab them before the ship blows!
3 burly thugs rushed toward Rambo Ninjo, who was still tangled in the ropes like a human burrito. He knew he couldn't fight them off while tied up, so he had to use his wits. He wriggled his hand free, grabbed his digital wrist gadget, and overloaded its battery pack, tossing it right into the middle of a massive stack of heavy metal cage doors stored on deck. Boom! The gadget exploded in a shower of harmless but incredibly bright ninja sparks. The stack of heavy metal doors collapsed, cascading across the deck like a runaway set of dominoes. The thugs shrieked as the rolling metal swept them off their feet, sending them crashing into a spectacular pile of arms, legs, and bruised egos. The villainous boss tripped over his own boots and landed face first into a large bucket of leftover fish guts. With the countdown clock ticking down, Rambo Ninjo sliced through his ropes, sprinted toward the glass dolphin tank, and delivered a perfect maximum power flying octopus kick right into the emergency release valve. Crack, shatter. The glass wall exploded. A monumental wall of rushing water erupted across the deck, sweeping Rambo Ninjo, Killa, the groaning villains, and the pink dolphin completely over the side of the barge and plunging them into the churning river below.
Follow the Boto!
Killa shouted as they surfaced. What followed was a breathless, high-speed chase through the chaotic waterways. The villains, having recovered their senses, scrambled into a high-powered speedboat, its roaring engine gaining on them by the second. Searchlights sliced through the dark forest, but the Pink River Dolphin was a true local. It swam right beneath Rambo Ninjo and Killa, allowing them both to grab hold of its smooth, sturdy dorsal fins. With a powerful, joyful squeak, the dolphin accelerated, towing them at breakneck speed through a hidden, impossibly narrow gap between two colossal rubber trees. Whee! Crunch! The villain's expensive speedboat, traveling far too fast, tried to follow and wedged itself completely and permanently between the two giant trees. Its engine let out a pathetic pop and died, leaving the poachers stranded and shouting angrily at the jungle frogs. The dolphin swam them deep into a hidden sunlit lagoon, far away from the chaos. The water here was crystal clear and perfectly calm. The beautiful pink creature swam in a joyful circle, gave Rambo Ninjo a gentle, thankful nudge with its snout, and swam off to rejoin its family pod in the distance. Killa smiled, wiping the river water from her face.
For a city boy who gets defeated by ants, you're a pretty excellent ninja.
Thanks.
Rambo Ninjo laughed, gently rubbing his sore wrist.
Next time I'm bringing bug spray.
Suddenly, his digital wrist gadget, which was somehow still working, beeped loudly. A swirling, beautiful blue portal opened right in the middle of the jungle clearing. Rambo Ninjo gave Killa a respectful ninja bow, stepped boldly into the glowing light, and vanished into thin air, ready to find out what crazy mission Sensei had waiting for him next.